Well, here come the players out of the tunnel at Ibrox. The Champions League action is about to start here on Sports Sound. Rangers hosting Panathinaikos of Greece, and it's time to sit back and enjoy the action in the company of Peter Lovencrantz, Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
It feels like a big night, and it is a big night for Rangers and their hopes of returning themselves to the Champions League, which is where they want to be. It's where the money is, it's where the prestige is. And they've only been there once in the last 15 years, and it wasn't a particularly enjoyable experience for them either. However, if they are to progress as a team, as a club, then that's where they need to be, dining at the top table of European football. And it's a heck of a long way off as we stand here on the 22nd of July, and 3 rounds of qualification will have to be negotiated for that dream to become reality. Russell Martin down there is turning away from the pitch, heading back to the dugout. He did have that short loan spell here from Norwich City all those years ago. This is something else. This is something different completely. The Rangers supporters with that huge tifo off to our right, depicting the Pantheon at the Acropolis in Athens, where Rangers will go next week for the return leg. What kind of shape will they be in for that second leg after tonight's massive match here in Govan? Russell Martin's starting 11. His first one sees Jack Butland return between the sticks, albeit he did feature in the final game of last season at Easter Road. Tavernier, Suter, new signing Giga, and Aarons on loan from Bournemouth over on the other side. Raskin, Rothwell, Diamonde across the middle. It'll be interesting to see what Joe Rothwell can bring to this Rangers side. Kieran Dowell, who spent last season on loan at Birmingham, won English League One in the process on one side, 18-year-old Findlay Curtis on the other. And Danilo, who's been beset by injury problems since arriving at the club, now could be his moment, it could be his time. It simply has to be for Rangers against an experienced Panathinaikos side with Dragovski in goal. Gadjanidis, Palmer, Brown, Juba and Kyriakopoulos on the left-hand side of the defence. Maksimovic, Chirivea and Bakasetas across the middle. The Uruguayan Palistri, the Serbian Juricic, either side of Fotis Ioannidis, the Greece international. And it will be Panathinaikos, that 3-leaf clover on their chest, who will kick this one off left to right as we watch from the main stand. Just behind the away dugout, white shirts, green shorts, white socks, and the game's underway. And Rangers' season is underway. Rangers in the blue shirts, white shorts, black socks, go right to left towards the Broomloan Road end. And it's Diamonde picking up in the midfield and shifting it out to James Tavernier into his 11th season at the club now. Dink down the line, looking for Dowell, goes back to the goalkeeper from his own defender there, and it came at him at pace as well, and he gets rid of it first time. Diamonde sliding in, trying to win it back. It's a long ball forward, which will come all the way through to Jack Butland. Rangers looking to start on the front foot, and it is a sell-out crowd at Ibrox, Stephen Thompson, that will be expecting them to do just that.
There's always the expectation here, Liam, isn't it? They're special in these European nights, which over the last few seasons I've seen some absolutely brilliant performances from Rangers, not just here at Ibrox but away from home as well. Yeah, and those fans will be expecting something from this team.
Well, first things first, John Suter's playing at left centre-back with Giga, the new boy, to his right. And Suter obviously prefers it on the right side of the defence as he collects with the right foot and knocks it out to young Curtis on this near side. Midway inside Panathinaikos territory. Comes back to Aarons. His ball forward is cut out there by the number 4 Chirivea, the Spaniard at the heart of midfield. breaks to Tavernier on the far side, and he rolls it back to Butland. Peter Lovenkrands, what a night, and so early in the season as well.
Yeah, this is what it's all about, being a Rangers football club. You know, the atmosphere is always going to be in European nights. It's one of the best times to be a Rangers player is on these type of nights. But Rangers has actually started well, and you can see the winger starting out wide, and he's looking very strong.
Yeah, and Rothwell's found Raskin, who's driving forward up to the edge of the Panathinaikos box, going all the way himself. He goes for goal. It's wide of the right-hand side of the goal frame. Really good, positive, driving run from Nicholas Raskin, who Rangers are desperate to hang on to now. A full Belgium international, of course. He's well off target there, but the intent is really impressive from Rangers in these opening couple of minutes at 0-0.
Yeah, it is, and he's such a good season last year. Raskin didn't a fan's favourite now, but it was lovely play between Rodwell and Tavernier in the middle of the park. Lovely wee 1-2, and then Rodwell spun it out to the wide area. Curtis makes a good decoy run, which opens up the space for Raskin to go into it, and he was just trying to curl it with the outside of his foot into the keeper's far left corner, but didn't get enough round it.
And it was a rare light in a tunnel of darkness for Rangers last season. And it's Tavernier wide on the right. They've started on the front foot. It's Tavernier dinking it along towards the edge of the D. Just goes behind Raskin though. And Panathinaikos able to pick up on this near side with a really loose ball. Vadianidis can't get onto it, and it's going to be a throw into Rangers, which Aarons is on to quickly. Bowls it back onto the halfway line for Suter. And Aarons picks up left of the centre circle into Rothwell. A 30-year-old midfielder there wearing the number 6 for Rangers this season. Back to Giga, low ball with the instep out to Aarons on the left. Now with Curtis up against Vadianidis. He's such a good fullback, the Greece international. He's back with Giga left of the centre circle. 3 new signings in from the start for Rangers this evening. It's Raskin to the edge of the centre circle for Giga, who bends it out to that right-hand side for Dowell. But his ball down the line goes out of play for a throw-in to Panathinaikos, level with their own 18-yard line over on the far side. But they're trying to get everyone involved in these early stages, Peter.
Yeah, but you can actually see James Tavernier is playing more as an inverted fullback. He comes all the way in to the middle of the park, basically in there, the midfielders when they're building up, and Aaron stays kind of wider. And you see Curtis and Dowell both stays wide as the wingers. Normally at Rangers previously, you've seen the fullbacks being very wide spread out and when you're building up. But Tavernier seemed to be coming quite far along and playing like an invert fullback when they're building up.
I did mention on drive time earlier on, speculated as to whether Russell Martin would adopt the kind of tactics that we saw Postecoglou adopt at Celtic when he came in with those inverted fullbacks. Tavernier's 34 in the autumn. He's been asked to perform a slightly different role. Let's see how he gets on. It's Curtis for Rangers attacking the left-hand side of the Panathinaikos box, but he loses it. He fouls Vadianidis, and that will be a free kick to the visitors right of their penalty area on this near side.
Yeah, he didn't get by him, but I like his positivity, and you know all about that, Peter, receiving the ball as a wide player. He's got his head down, he's trying to take him on, trying to make something happen. I'd rather see him do that than just pass it back the way to Aarons. At least he's trying to be positive.
Yeah, 100%. I think I love the intent of it, but it seems to be that you can see that it's not his favourite position to play in. It's like he didn't really know what to do and didn't make his mind up really early. You know, as a winger, you kind of know what you're going to do as soon as the ball's on the way and what you're going to do, try and drag them along or skip inside. And I think he's trying to find his feet.
Not everybody had your pace though, just to knock it by people and run. That's the thing.
Oh, he's got a better touch than I did, so.
Aye, most people do.
Looked like a foul on Raskin there. The ref, I think, allowed the advantage. Referee from Lithuania this evening, Donatas Rumsas, as Suter picks up and rolls it out to Aarons on this near side. And back to Giga, just outside the centre circle. Short ball to Tavernier, and now with Suter. Side foot, rolls it along the grass out to Curtis on this near side. Infield to Raskin. He was under a bit of pressure there from Bakasetas. He turns it back into the centre circle to Giga, finds Suter to his left. Suter up to the halfway point of the Panathinaikos territory. He's found Aarons on the left, to Curtis, to Suter. Suter finds Raskin. First time ball to Rothwell. Slips it through to Danilo. It's back to goal. Rolls it back to Diamande, whose effort's blocked. And Panathinaikos win it back in the far side through Juricic. He's trying to get back onto it over there on the left, it goes out of play for a Rangers throw-in, which is taken quickly by Rothwell, who's shown a decent touch. He's 6.5 minutes into his Rangers career here.
Yeah, looks comfortable, doesn't he? Definitely very comfortable on the ball.
Aaron's managing to evade Pelistri. There's only one starter for Panathinaikos this evening who's not a full international. It's the Spaniard in the middle, Chirivea. Everyone else has been capped, and here's a good run forward. It's a cynical challenge there, and Pelistri's brought crashing to the ground. Raskin's booked, and that is one of the most obvious yellow cards you will see all season. Nothing each here, 7 played.
Had to be a booking, didn't it, Peter? I mean, he gave the ball away and then he was trying to catch up with the full-back and he just couldn't quite get in line with him. Eventually he cut inside. It looked as though he was going to go through one-on-one, even though he's still a good 30 yards from goal, but maybe not a bad foul to give away.
No, in the end, actually, he kind of had to do it. The way it kind of opened up for the
away.
play. Yeah, exactly. It looked like, no, don't foul him because we got covered with Suter and stuff, but in the end, he kind of had to make that foul.
Kind of skipped inside Suter,
exactly. But I think Russellman's trying to talk to the fourth official too early. That's a 100% yellow card. Doesn't matter how early in the game it is.
Yeah, Pelistri was away through there. Rangers got away with one in many respects in that situation. Raskin yellow carded. It's going to be a free kick. It's just about midway inside the Rangers half. Over it is Bakasetas with the left foot. Bends it into the left-hand side of the Rangers box where it's headed half away. Breaks to the edge of the area. Kyriakopoulos going down the far side towards the byline. Looking to get the cross in, which he does. Chance! Good save, and then off the post! Jack Butler with a magnificent save, because that looked a Panathinaikos goal all night long, and then on the rebound it comes battering off the keeper's left-hand post and away to safety. It stays Rangers 0, Panathinaikos 0, but that is the first huge moment in this tie, and it goes Rangers' way, but only just.
I cannot believe that's not 1-0 to Panathinaikos. What a save from Jack Butland, first of all, in the first one, but huge miss. You have to say it's 2 bad finishes for horrendous finishing, you know what I mean, going on. But that Rangers are very, very lucky not to be 1-0 down.
It's so lucky.
And they've given it away here. That's been popped through to the left. Tavernier covering, gets it back to his goalkeeper under serious pressure from Juricic, who's gone down injured by the looks of things inside the Rangers box. It's been cleared out for a throw. Now, Rangers settled pretty well in the opening few minutes. This is the first time we've seen Panathinaikos bare their teeth, and they've caused havoc just in the last minute or so.
Well, they have. For the first 8 minutes, Panathinaikos hardly strung a pass together, but certainly in the last minute it's been very dodgy for Rangers. I mean, unlike Peter, I cannot believe that wasn't a goal. The striker's got basically the whole goal to hit. He's less than 6 yards out, and he puts it towards Jack Butland, who makes a decent enough save. And then the follow-up is a yard out. He's only got the whole goal to hit, hits the post. Incredible.
Out-swinging corner from the left-hand side for Panathinaikos. It comes deep in towards the back post area, where it's headed away by Tavernier. Panathinaikos come down the right here with Vagianidis. He gets the ball across, and it's headed well wide there by Maksimovic. Very difficult to see what else he could have done with that. It arrived at him at a fair rate of knots. It was behind for a Rangers goal kick, which Butland's taken quickly and short to Suter. 10 in, Rangers 0, Panathinaikos 0, but Rangers dodging a bullet just a couple of minutes ago. And they've given it away again. Curtis now. This is the kind of thing that can breathe through the side if there's any nerves. It's turned back by Ioannidis. And the skipper back to Chirivea just inside his own half, and he's going to try the big switch right to left over to the far side. And it's collected well by Kyriakopoulos. The youngster, one of the 2 new signings in the visitors' ranks tonight, the starting 11 anyway. The ball's been rolled back to Eric Palmer-Brown, and USA international. And then over to the right for Vagianidis. He goes back to his goalkeeper Dragovski. And the big pole launches it into the Rangers half, comes off Aaron's head, breaks to Ioannidis. Now it's going to be knocked forward by Bakasetas to the right-hand side of the box. Good run by Maksimovic. Giga comes to meet him. Rolled back the way to Bakasetas. Breaks to Vagianidis wide on the right. Just a few yards from the near side touchline. Russell Martin very animated down there. Former Scotland international, perhaps most notably alongside Grant Hanley at the heart of that Scotland defence. Of course, Hanley's still part of the squad these days. It's rolled down the left. It's going to be cut out by Suter. Again, it's given away, and Panathinaikos come forward. It's not back to the 18-yard line. The effort scuffed. A brilliant bit of challenging there by Curtis. It was enough to put him off. And Rangers come away with Aarons. But the Rangers supporters, you can tell, real concern with the ease with which that defence is being cut open here.
Yeah, I mean, it was another big chance. I mean, the cutback itself wasn't a particularly good one. If it had gone to Ioannidis, he had been tapping it home. It comes to the edge of the box and he takes a touch. He should have hit it on his right. He's desperate to get it onto his left. Is there going to be a VAR check? I don't know. Then Finlay Curtis does really well actually to get back in and put him off just as he was about to strike it. I didn't know whether he caught him or whether the Panathinaikos player kicked Finlay Curtis's leg.
No, I think it's spot on. You're lucky that Panathinaikos player doesn't take it over to his left foot, because then Curtis is not coming back on it. He actually takes it over to his right to give him the opportunity to get back and get a nick on the ball, and I think
it took too long, didn't it?
Yeah, it took far too long. But it's been a strange couple of minutes, isn't it? Like, Rangers was so settled, so dominant on the ball. They went in a set play, kind of almost scored in Panathinaikos. They kind of got right back into the game. Rangers looked nervous suddenly.
Yeah, really.
And they've been rocked, haven't they? They've been rocked by those two chances.
Changed it. It's the last 2 minutes. They seem to be trying to find their feet again, all over the place.
Well, it was a huge opportunity. I think it was Maksimovic who had the second effort that came off the post. It's 0-0, 13 minutes played. Remember, there are League Cup games on tonight. bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. Get the scores, the goals as they come in at that website. Here come Panathinaikos driving down the left. Georgos Kyriakopoulos just turning it back the way. Rolled forward to the left angle of the Rangers box. In comes the cross. It's behind Ioannidis. It is back to goal. Still, it's not away though, and they've got a man down inside the box again. And it's Pelistri who's gone down looking for a penalty that he's not getting at the moment. And as Tomo alluded to, it is VAR tonight, so wait and see if anything comes of that.
Didn't look at it. I think it was the way through himself. Don't know if there had been a slight bit of contact, but not enough for him to go down. But again, though, slightly concerning from Rangers' point of view. It was another kind of cut back to the edge of the box, and it was very, very scrappy and nervy from Rangers. It's been a bad 4 or 5 minutes for them.
That's now
ride it through.
With VAR now, players' teams will go down a bit easier now because they have that chance of potentially a VAR check every time they go down in the box. You know, just as there a wee slight touch, then you might get a decision. So players, and especially maybe players like forward players, they would look for these type of opportunities. But I don't think that was a penalty at all.
Curtis gives it away, and Panathinaikos back in possession here. Bakasetas rolling it back to Pelistri, to the edge of his own box for Palmer Brown. And Dragovski, the keeper, and it's a poor one out from him, and that's going to be a throw-in to Rangers on the far side. Neither team looking particularly comfortable at the back in these early stages. And it's going to be Rangers over on the right with Diamonde. He's won the throw-in, takes it himself quickly to Tavernier. To Diamonde, level with the penalty spot. It's the cross in. And diving headed away by Ahmed Touba, Algeria international, at the heart of defence for the visitors. Their attack down the left breaks down, but they have got a throw-in just inside the Rangers half over on the left in front of the Sandy Jardine Govan stand.
I mean, Rangers started the game well in terms of keeping the ball, and they were looking fairly composed on the ball. They were getting into reasonable areas, but they didn't really create anything or fashion anything in that period they were on top for the opening 8 minutes. Whereas you have to say Panathinaikos in the last 5 minutes have had a good few looks at Rangers go. Look more threatening than Rangers do at this minute in time.
The fact Rangers are taking part in the second qualifying round for this tournament is the first real signs of the drop-off in the coefficient. They came in the third qualifying round last season, losing out to Dynamo Kiev. They've beat Servette the year before. And the winners of this will play Servette or Victoria Pilsen. Servette 1-0 up away from home in the Czech Republic, incidentally. And there is, on paper at least, a more difficult Europa League third qualifying round for whoever loses this tie, with Besiktas of Turkey or Shakhtar Donetsk of Ukraine lying in wait. You'd probably rather take your chances against Servette or Pilsen.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Given Rangers beat Servette in the third qualifying round before going on to lose the PSV in the playoffs 2 years ago. And Suter picks up and rolls it out to Raskin. Rangers looking for a period of calm, if at all possible. Given the problems they just had, and they've got another problem here because Aarons has had it nicked off him, and it's Ioannidis driving forward. Rolling it to his left for Bakasetas, out to Kyriakopoulos over on the left. Level with the Rangers 18-yard line. And back to Bakasetas, Diamonde all over him. Kyriakopoulos to the left angle of the penalty area. And will be rolled back all the way to the halfway line eventually to Tuba.
They picked the wrong option there, Peter, didn't they? Pelestri made a great run down this right-hand side. He was on. I don't think anybody saw it.
No, I think Rangers are very lucky that he doesn't open up to his right-hand side, because he was definitely in if he'd seen that.
They're trying to stretch Rangers. It's Pelestri looking to win the corner, and he does so. It's all hard work for Russell Martin, who turns back towards his technical area, back towards his dugout, shaking his head, chuntering away to himself. It's been a difficult spell.
I think it's very, very obvious right now that Rangers are trying to build up. That's when they are vulnerable. You know, Panathinaikos looking good when Rangers are building and they win the ball high up on the pitch, and that's when Rangers are quite open. And it seemed to have been, you know, that was what I used to see down in England when Russell Martin was down there. So that needs to be tidied up. We can't take too many chances defensively when we're building up.
And Tassos Bakasetas to take the corner from this right-hand side as they attack the goal to the right, the Copeland Road end. Then Swinger with the left foot. Russell Martin crouched down there as it comes into the box. It drops to Raskin at the near post. He's desperately trying to get rid of it. Butler makes another save, and this time he's kept out the big centre-back Palmer Brown, who unleashed a shot at goal.
It's a brilliant save, but it should be a goal. It's another sitter. I don't know what Raskin's doing on the byline with the ball. Just put it out for another corner. He's trying to kind of out-muscle the Panathinaikos player. Gets a toe poke to it, comes to 6 yards out. It's a big centre half. He catches it all right. It's a really good save.
Straight at him,
lift it high into the net.
Straight at him.
He's only 5 yards out. Another major let-off for Rangers. That.
Here they come, Panathinaikos down the left, the cross ball into the box. Aarons gets something onto it. Going to break out to this near side for Georgos Vagianidis. Curtis comes to meet him. He's got some help there from Raskin too. Breaks to Curtis in the end, and Aarons clears. And that's going to drop out of play for a throw-in on this near side. Panathinaikos by far the superior team in this first leg so far. 19 minutes played though. It remains 0-0 here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, extra digital 810 medium wave and online. And we've also been joined by listeners in 5 Sports Extra 2 on BBC Sounds. So hello to you as well, as Panathinaikos pick up the ball with Ioannidis. Russell Martin wanted a decision to go Rangers' way there, but they've got the ball back in any case. And it is Nasser Giga on loan from Wolves, who strides up to the halfway line and knocks it to the right for Tavernier. Now with Dowell. Some much needed possession for Rangers this, Peter.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was very interesting 2 minutes ago where Aarons gets the ball right next to Rangers' box and he kicks it long. And under a bit of pressure from a Panathinaikos perspective, they pushed him high. And Russell Martin is kind of telling him to relax and don't kick long. So you want
pressure.
That's what I mean, but
yeah.
The player just kicked long and he's like, no, relax, like trying to play. And no. So Russell Martin really wants him to play, even under pressure. He wants him to build out from the back.
I'm not sure he had many options other than to go.
Exactly. It was the only option he had at that point.
Yeah.
20 and nothing each. The problem is a panicky performance, and it has been at times by Rangers, can become a panicky atmosphere.
Yeah.
And that just floods down from the stands.
Oh yeah, the fans will feel it. The fans feel you. As a player as well, you feel it on the pitch. So the fans get nervy, and they'll start pushing, and you start doing things that you're not planned for.
You start rushing things, perhaps.
You need to keep a cool head and keep focused on the game plan.
Here's Nicholas Raskin now, deep into the Panathinaikos half. Plays it short to his left for Curtis. Back to Rothwell. Out wide left for Curtis. He's level with the 18-yard line. Gets it onto his right side. Gets the ball into the box. Cleared pretty comfortably in the end by Maksimovic. And then breaks just the edge of the area for Bakasetas a little bit fortuitously. His ball forwards cut out by Giga. He does well to get himself away from Ioannidis. Turns it back into his own half. Infield to Diamonde. On the centre spot just about. Rolls it out to Aarons on this near side. To Curtis. First time looking to return it to Diamonde. Too much on it though. And it comes right through to Dragowski. 21 played. Rangers 0. Panathinaikos 0.
It was a good idea from Curtis. It was a decent run, but unfortunately he just got a wee bit too much on it. I like the tempo though, trying to do things first time.
Here they come again. Vagianidis striding forward deep into the Rangers half. He did have Pelistri to his right. Instead he plays it back the way he's going to get it back immediately. Here he's gone down in the box. Aarons with a challenge. The referee's going to blow his whistle, but he's given it Rangers way. Looks like he's got the yellow card out for a dive here, is he?
I think it could be a dive.
Yeah, I think
Unfortunately, we don't have monitors up here, so we're not going to get a look at it again. For me, I think he's trying to. Yeah, he's trying to buy the penalty here. I mean, there's been 3 now that they've been claiming for, Peter. All have been very, very, very slight claims, to be fair.
It's Vagianidis.
I don't know why he's going down, though, because
he's actually through, maybe.
He's in. Just stay on your feet.
Yeah.
But interestingly there, the Rangers tried to lock on with 4 or 5 in the press, and the goalkeeper, Dragowski, just dinked it over the lot of them. And then Vagianidis got the ball and they were away.
Yeah. Dundee fans rejoice. They've gone 1-0 up at Bonnyrigg. And a problem if they're not beating Bonnyrigg, given how they've struggled in recent times back in the Lowland League Cup ties across the country this evening. I mentioned the website to keep up to date with those. It's going to be difficult for me to go through all those. I think there's 14 ties tonight when this is raging on. I will do my best, though, when we get stoppages in play, to keep you up to date with those scores, because I know there will be people out and about, perhaps more so than at home, who will be interested in those, as Rothwell drives into the Panathinaikos half but runs into trouble. 3 in fighting green getting his way, but Aarons picks it up and goes to Suter, who plays it short to Raskin. Looks to take the high road this time with a long ball with the right foot, can't find double. Kyriakopoulos heads away into the midfield. Juricic has been beaten to it. Diamonde's onto it, slides it forward, but it's a poor pass, easily away by Tuba. And now Panathinaikos come in the counter on the left. 2 ahead of the man on the ball right now, who is Juricic. He's worked it out wide left, and now there's an opportunity to drive it into the area. It's half away, it's a chance, and it's a block by Suter. Another opportunity, Kyriakopoulos this time, after the initial shot from Bakasetas was blocked. And it's clear by Rangers. They just don't look comfortable at all defensively.
No, especially when Cross is coming in. You know, that's down the left-hand side this time, and the ball comes in, and the ball seemed to be falling to the Panathinaikos forward attacking midfielders every time the ball get cleared from the Rangers box, and it falls to the feet of the Panathinaikos player, and he takes one touch. Suter comes out quickly and shuts it down with a great sliding tackle. But again, an opportunity where they look dangerous, Panathinaikos. Every time they come forward into the Rangers box,
do, don't they?
They look dangerous. They look like they could score.
They look like they could score every time. It was a wonderful block from John Suter, you have to say. Again, though, it's a cutback. A lot of their crosses are getting cut back, as you said, towards the edge of the box where the attacking midfielders are getting in, and they're not picked up.
Yeah. Rangers on the ball with Suter's the edge of his own box. Plays it short to Rothwell. Up to the halfway line for Danilo. He's giving it away. He's giving it straight to Pelistri. Pelistri then rolls it with the right foot to the left. It really has been poor at times, the distribution from their defensive third up the pitch for Rangers tonight, giving the ball away.
But that's a couple for Danilo, and he doesn't need to do that first time there. He's got loads of time. Link the play, you're the striker. Take a touch, bring the others in. Tries to pop it off first time. He did it a couple of minutes ago. And just cheap giveaways.
Diamonde's down the far side, no free kick. I think it's just a throw-in.
But this is a time trouble. You knew that as a big striker, you want to hold the ball up. Sometimes you also need that breathing where you can put it up to your striker. He's going to hold the ball up, wait for support, get you higher up the pitch, and then you lay off, and then you keep building from there. That touch doesn't need to happen. Exactly. You don't need to give the ball away at that time.
Rangers on the ball with Raskin. Out to Curtis on the near side, then back to Raskin, who goes back to Suter. Suter square ball for Giga. Right footed out to the right hand side. It's with Dowell. Be keen to try and make an impression.
Not seen a lot of them on the ball so far tonight.
I think in an ideal world, Rangers won't have Kieran Dowell starting as their right winger when the league season gets underway. Or indeed you get into the post-transfer window autumn chapter of the campaign. It's out for a Panathinaikos throw-in. Meantime on this near side.
Is it just me, Tom? You're looking to say is when Rangers are building up, it's coming all down the left-hand side, really.
Mostly, yeah.
James Tavernier is playing such inverted over on the other side,
narrow every time.
And Dowell's out wide, but they can't get the ball over there and get it down the side. Like you normally see James Tavernier running down, putting crosses in.
And
don't see it at all.
Dill's not the sort of player that's going to go and stretch the full-back, is he?
So they come over to the side here with Aarons and Curtis, and you know, they're trying to build it up through the lines with Raskin pulling out. So seem to be going down the left-hand side every time.
A lot of time, yeah.
Grey skies above the floodlights beaming down the two stands at either side of the pitch as Curtis picks up for Rangers midway inside the Panathinaikos half. Back to Aarons into his own half for Suter. To Aarons, to Giga, to Rothwell. Over on the right of the circle is Joe Rothwell. Moves it to the left of it for Suter. And Russell Martin constantly down there cajoling his players. There's another loose ball. It's Giga this time. That's going to be another yellow for Suter this time, as he brings Pelistri to the ground. But again, he's been completely sold by his teammate there.
Rangers are trying to pop about in the middle of the park and they're just getting it nicked off them. On that occasion, he had to make the foul. If that was another 10 yards forward, he was off the pitch.
And again, Pelistri's away.
That is just about as cynical as it gets.
I was just told why he had to pull him down there. Yeah, you're lucky. He's at the halfway line. You have to pull him down because he's not going to get it straight.
Even if the touch had been more central, the referee would have had something to think about.
100%. You have to go and look at the VAR thing and see if there was an opportunity for him to be in.
The Greeks have made an absolute mess of it in any case. It's ended up back.
But again, Tom, that comes from a build-up, doesn't it? It comes from a build-up. They give it away again, and then Rangers looks so vulnerable every time they build up and they give the ball away.
Kyriakopoulos down the left-hand touchline by Juricic. Can't control. Goes out to play for a Rangers throw-in, taken quickly by Tavernier. Picked up in the midfield by Dowell, but he's given it away to Bakasetas. Now with Ioannidis, just left of the centre circle. He's in the Rangers half. Rolls it with the instep with the right foot out to the left-hand side. And then it breaks out to that left flank again for Bakasetas. Quite like moving the front three around Panathinaikos. Ioannidis is normally the focal point. He too can come wide as Rangers pick it up on the left. Curtis drives forward and goes down. No foul. He's the Lithuanian referee, and Chirivea will roll it back to his keeper. Group A in the League Cup then. Brechin 0, Cove 1, Falkirk 0, Queen's Park 1. Group B, goalless Partick Thistle, Queen of the South. Thistle close if they can win tonight to the knockouts. Ross County 1, Edinburgh City 0. That's Group B, as Rangers give away a corner for the slide challenge there by Rothwell. He's claiming goal kick for the slide challenge in Ioannidis. Bonnyrigg 0, Dundee 1 in Group C. Group D goalless Arbroath Annan, Ayr 1, Forfar 0. Group E, Dunfermline 0, Hamilton 0. Group F, it's 1-1 East Kilbride, Cally Thistle, St Johnstone 1, Raith Rovers 0. Clyde 0, Stennismere 1. Motherwell goalless with Morton. Big game in that group, that one. East Fife 2, Brora 0. Kelty Hearts 0. Kilmarnock 0. You're up to date with the League Cup anytime at the website. Corner Panathinaikos here. It is goalless at Ibrox. Almost bang on the half hour here in this Champions League second qualifying round first leg. The return to come in Athens next Wednesday. Temperatures around high 30s today in the Greek capital as the corner comes in towards the 6-yard line. In fact, inside the 6-yard box, and Suter rises to head it over his own bar, and it will be a corner to the visitors on the other side. And we are on the 30-minute mark, 0-0.
It's an excellent ball in, it really was. John Suter does ever so well to get in between the two players that were challenging him. Turns it over his own bar, but another corner to defend now.
Yeah, and they're going to have the same corner taker who's trotting over from the right side to the left there, and Tassos Bakasetas. Missed both the Scotland games in March with injury, but did return to the Greece squad for their friendlies against Slovakia and Bulgaria in June. They are part of the World Cup qualifiers. Scotland and Greece will be meeting in the autumn. Left-footed out-swinging corner. It's missed by Ioannidis. Breaks to the edge of the box and rifled by Ioannidis. High and not very handsome there from the Panathinaikos number 2. Goal kick, and Butland's taking it really quickly to Suter. And then to Curtis, back to Suter. It feels at times, Rangers, I know this is something a lot of managers like to adopt, getting the play back underway quickly. I can understand that if you're either comfortable in a match or chasing a match. Perhaps it's time for a period of calm now and again.
Yeah, but to be fair, when they have been playing up calm from the back, they've been giving the ball away anyway, and they've been dangerous for Panathinaikos to go and attack it. I actually like to do the quick start to try and catch them off guard a wee bit. But then when the ball gets played into Curtis in the midfield, he's got acres of space actually around him, but he plays the ball back the way, and then they have to start again. But you know, instead of taking the ball forward, break through the lines, and then you can open up something in the game.
Aaron's out to Curtis on this left-hand side. They are up the pitch. He's had to go back the way to Raskin. Rui Vitória, the Panathinaikos coach, Portuguese, at the edge of his technical area. Runners-up last season. They did reach the last 16 in the Conference League before running into Fiorentina. And Suter rolls it out to Raskin wide on the left. Of course, Rangers quarter-finalists in the Europa League. Raskin gives it away. Chirivea. He hits it back on the near side. He's looking to release Pelistri down the right, and he's done so. Pelistri now attacking the Rangers box. Plays it low across. Rangers have bodies back in the way. And it's really well defended in the end by James Tavernier, who covered from right back over to the left-hand side of a 6-yard box to get it clear and douse the danger, and Curtis wins the free kick on the near side. I remember Tavernier's performance against Fenerbahce here in the
that's right,
in the and indeed Bilbao in the quarter-finals of the Europa League. He was outstanding those nights in Glasgow.
But that chance comes again from a giveaway in the middle of the park, and it's because Rangers are lacking options. When it goes into the middle of the pitch, they're always trying to pop wee things into feet, whether it's into Rothwell, Raskin or Danilo coming short. And Panathinaikos are just nipping it off them. They're lacking penetration. It's not coming from wide areas. They're not getting runners beyond. They've not got a Tavernier, as Peter said, high and wide on the right-hand side. So they're running out of ideas constantly when they're on the ball. What have we had? One shot in the game. What we had? 33 minutes, and it was Raskin early doors.
Yeah, it went well wide.
Severe lack of just options and movement off the ball.
But Panathinaikos is very happy just to sit there and let Rangers trying to play through, and then they're trying to nick it off them every time they do that. So they're very comfortable. They're not getting threatened. Like you say, there's no balls in behind. There's no running in behind.
Don't need to worry about getting stretched.
It's very easy to defend against this because they keep a low block and they just keep a solid, compact box, let them go over the side because they don't have the actual players to go around the outside because Tavernier's so far in the pitch, Adam's so far in the pitch that you kind of go around the outside.
And big carrot for Rangers to get through to the next stage, because if nothing else, if they can get through to the next stage of Champions League qualifying, they're guaranteed at least Europa League until January. Right now, as it stands, they're not guaranteed any European football after the qualifiers. Lose this, Europa League, lose that, Conference League, lose that, out altogether. There'll be a throw-in on the near side. Might be a free kick's been given in the end, actually, to Panathinaikos. The near side touchline just inside their own half.
You have to be extremely honest here. This game is massive in the face of, like, the season's going to start soon. If you're out of Europe and, like say, out of Champions League, you start the season, you've got an Old Firm coming up at the end of the month. This month could be massive coming up, where they're into Rangers. And if you don't get on the front foot and start well, we know all about what the pressure's going to be like here. So this game is a big starting point of what this month we're going to go into.
Giga coming out of defence for Rangers, plays it short to Rothwell. Now Giga again. Right-footed ball low out to Tavernier on the touchline. It's about to go into the final 10 minutes of the first half. It's an offside, an obvious one. Diamande is off. It's the final 10 minutes of the first half of the first leg. It is 0-0, but Panathinaikos have cut Rangers open plenty in the opening 35 minutes, and they should have scored at least twice.
I think the bonus for Rangers would be to get in at half-time without conceding. It doesn't look like they're going to score in this opening half, and Russell Martin can get across where he thinks they're going wrong. For me, defensively, yes, they've looked poor. They're trying to force passes too centrally, and they've got no penetration in wide areas and no penetration in behind, so they're not troubling Panathinaikos. They're not moving the back four.
Well, Panathinaikos can also, when they build up and have the ball, Rangers not stopping them. They're playing through too easy. You see with the goalkeeper popping the ball out to the right back over the top of the front press three, and it creates Rangers on the back foot. But that's because Rangers is playing with 4 guys to the back against 3 guys, instead of sacrificing one of them, playing man-man and push Adams up further up on the guy behind Curtis and the full back, and that means they'll stop that happening. But Rangers seems to be, they can't get settled into the game at all.
No.
Rangers up against the 20-time Greek champions tonight, albeit they haven't won it in 15 years. As Danilo picks up at the edge of the box, back to Diamonde, and he's forced the goalkeeper to put it behind for the corner, diving low to his right, Dragowski. And it will be a Rangers corner. This is their first of the season.
His first shot on target tonight as well, and it was fairly simple. The ball into a striker's feet. Danilo this time took a touch, set it back to Diamonde, who was fully 25 yards out. Didn't get a lot of pace on his shot, but he got a bit of direction on it. It was going into the bottom corner. Keeper saw it easy enough, but
routine save, isn't it?
Yeah.
Routine save.
Yeah.
Rothwell on corner duties on this near side. As Rangers attack the Broomloan stand to our left. In swinging corner. What can they make of this? They've only actually got, well, I was waiting to say 4 in the box, a couple hiding in the 6-yard area, and it comes towards the back post. Headed away. Important header by Palmer Brown. Now it's with Tavernier. He slips just as he was going to cross. He gets a second chance, and it comes, the header breaks back on the volley, and it's rifled wide by Danilo. He's taken a deflection off a Panathinaikos defender, and Rangers have another corner. Now their supporters have come to life.
That was a fantastic opportunity. When the ball drops down to Danilo over by the far post, that is goal bound. If that's not hitting the defender or whoever's in the way, that's
Maksimovic.
That's a goal.
Yeah,
that's 100% goal. Great strike.
Yeah.
Great strike. He's unlucky.
Tavernier did well to dig the cross out, given he slipped when he was trying to put it in the first time of asking. Rangers corner right in front of the 1,000 or so Panathinaikos supporters on the far side. Rolled short, back to Tavernier, gets the cross in, Suter attacks it, blocked, shout for handball by the Rangers fans. The ref's not interested. The visitors come away on the counter here. Wide in the right with Vagianidis, level with the edge of the centre circle in the Rangers half. Rolls it infield. It's the big switch there by the number 11 Bakasetas. Now Kyriakopoulos, left-footed cross comes in towards the back post, and then behind for the goal kick. Surely, yes, off Pelistri. It's well defended by Aarons, actually. He was in the right place. And it will be a goal kick. Come off him first and then back off the Panathinaikos player. And Rangers have a goal kick. It is 0-0 at Ibrox.
Yeah, good defending. Good defending from Aarons there. You know, ball goes out wide, and that's when they actually defended cross for the first time properly. They didn't look dangerous. They came in, they dealt with it, and the ball goes out to a goal kick, and now Rangers can build again. But it is a good wee spell for Rangers now. This is something that they need to keep a hold of to half time. Hopefully they might make a goal before half time.
Aarons for Rangers, out to Curtis on this left hand side. They've not travelled particularly well, Panathinaikos, recently. They had the 7th best away record in Greece last season. As Giga gets it in the centre circle and plays it with the right foot short to his left for Rothwell, who does likewise to Suter. Now Raskin, Curtis has made his move. Raskin holds on to it instead though and loses it. And a bit of a waste. He was in a good position there. Now Tianidis is driving at Giga. He's got an option ahead of him there, but he elected not to utilise Juricic. Now it's with Tuba, the centre back in the Rangers half. Rolls it infield to Ioannidis. Then played to Vagianidis, and then to Pelistri on the right. Short ball back the way. Vagianidis, Pelistri, first time pushes it infield. 3 Rangers players managed to get in and around Chirivea, who gives it away. Now it's Diamonde going down. The howls from the Rangers supporters accompanied by the referee's whistle. Free kick. I think the Rangers fans want to see a yellow card.
Yeah, they're scheming for the yellow card there, didn't they? They want to feel like injustice because the Rangers got a few yellow cards.
Yeah, I did think he pulled his jersey back.
Yeah, he did. But it wasn't looking like a dangerous situation, wasn't it? That's why he's not giving it.
And Suter and Raskin both in the boot, as is Vagianidis for diving. It is Max Aarons on the ball. He was on loan at Valencia in the second half of last season. And joining Rangers in the summer from Bournemouth for the campaign. Rangers contrive to give it away again. And now it's Ioannidis who is driving at the Rangers defence. An opportunity here perhaps. Good one from Pelistri, moved infield. Instead Ioannidis goes back the way it's slipped out to this near side by Bakasetas. Vagianidis, rather than crossing, goes back to Chirivea. Long, deep ball towards Kyriakopoulos. Dowell wins the header. Was he fouled? As though he was, and Rangers will have a free kick just to the right of their own box. It is 0-0, 41 played at Ibrox.
The Rangers have come back into the game, I suppose, in the last 5 minutes, looked a wee bit more dangerous, couple of set plays, had the shot on target from Diamandi, but they still look really vulnerable when Panathinaikos counter on them. That last occasion, John Suter driving with the ball from a centre-half area, trying to break the lines himself instead of passing it, drives into an area, gives it away, and then they're exposed. And on a few occasions, Panathinaikos have broken away. It's maybe been 3v3, 3v2, but they've not picked the right choice or the right pass, luckily for Rangers.
It seemed to be happy, doesn't it, Panathinaikos, with letting the centre-half, like Suter, for example, having the ball and breaking forward, because they know if they get that far forward and he loses the ball, there's an opening the other way. So they seem to be just their game plan.
Suter's ball forward, Danilo with the flick header out to Diamandi, who finds Dowell in the field to Rothwell. A little spin there, looks to fire it to Diamandi, but it's cut out. Breaks back towards Rothwell, but he can't control it. And it is the visitors in possession. Slipped forward to Ioannidis, he's on his own for the moment, but he's attacking Giga. Into the box he goes, Ioannidis. Tavernier helping out, rolls it along his own 6-yard line. Suter will get there and plays it short to Aarons. And he comes forward, checks his run, then does well to take on Pelistri, and finds Raskin, flicks it forward to Curtis, he flicks it back infield towards Raskin, sliding in, goes back to Setas. Rangers pinch it back at the edge of the Panathinaikos box with Danilo. It's turned out for a throw-in by Vagianidis. The Rangers on this near side, 0-0, 2 minutes of the regulation time to play in the first half. And Max Aarons over it, level with the edge of the D of the Panathinaikos box. Short there to Danilo, back to Aarons. Goes back towards his own goal, though he slips it into the central midfield there for Rothwell. Dinks it to Raskin, it's a slight touch onto it and it bounces off Danilo and behind for the goal kick. So 0-0 here to come on Thursday. Midtjylland against Hibs, Dundee United, Strassen, the Europa League and Conference League second qualifying rounds respectively. Peter, do you give Hibs a chance against Midtjylland?
Yeah, definitely. You know, Midtjylland is definitely a team to talk about. You know, I mean, they're good. They're a very good side. They've been part of Europe for many years now, on top of Danish football for many years. But and personally, I would say Midtjylland is maybe favourite in my opinion, but it can happen. They can definitely go there and do something to them, because the start of the season, to be fair, what goes into Midtjylland's favour is they've played a few games now. The season's just started.
Well, they were 3-3, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly. And they were actually lucky to get that. Seen the game, and they were very lucky to get 3-3 in the end. And they could actually have won it in the end. But it's a good side. It's a very good team. But I definitely do think Hibs has a chance. And I hope so, because the Scottish football will be great.
Yeah, well, the coefficient needs it. It's as simple as that. Rangers and Celtic have been obviously picking up the vast majority of the coefficient points, but the other teams really do need to try and pick up the slack, and it has to happen this season. Hibs, Dundee United and Aberdeen also in Europe. We know Aberdeen will be in at least the group stage of the Conference League. Celtic have a Champions League playoff, at least Europa League for them. The other three not guaranteed any tournament proper football. Rangers in possession here in this Champions League qualifier, and it's back to Giga, who finds Tavernier, who then squares it to Suter. Suter left of the centre circle, back to Giga. Walking pace across the halfway line, finds Tavernier to his right. Diamandi made his run. The referee has blown no stoppage time at the end of the first half, so bang on 45 minutes. Mr. Rumsas says that's enough. So Rangers probably quite happy to get up the tunnel goalless at the break, because there were periods in that first half where they were bang up against it, having started reasonably positively. Raskin with a shot which ultimately went well wide of the right hand post, but they really did come under some duress there. Maksimovic hitting the post after Butland had made the save. Other opportunities have arisen. Ioannidis with a header over the crossbar. We saw Pelistri forcing a save out of Jack Butland as well, but then Rangers did threaten towards the end of the first half. Diamandi and Danilo with efforts. The first was saved, the second was deflected behind for the corner. So Rangers got to be quite happy with the scoreline at Ibrox at half-time in the first leg of this Champions League second qualifying round tie of Rangers 0, Panathinaikos 0.
Rangers in the Champions League qualifiers.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Wake up to Good Morning Scotland for the latest news.
But where's that coming from?
There's lots of different types of waste in Scotland.
What more can and should governments be doing?
This is a really important issue.
Does that not put a different spin on things?
Trump is saying here, I've had it with this situation.
The stories that just have to be told.
Scientists are to take part in the debut of a new Scottish country dance.
The dance itself, I think, will have about 500.
Oh, goodness me!
Along with the latest travel, weather and sport.
That's my team that you've beaten, the Western Isles.
my apologies.
But well, please.
Everything you need to know, every day.
Wake up to Good Morning Scotland.
Listen on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
You're listening to Sports Sound with me, Thomas Duncan, live from Ibrox. A thoroughly entertaining first half in the Champions League, second qualifying round. First leg, Rangers started brilliantly enough and finished the half relatively well, but in between there was an awful lot for Panathinaikos to enjoy, but it is a compelling match. We'll get stuck into the analysis of what has gone before, and in a moment I'll run through the half-time scores in the 14 Premier Sports Cup group stage ties. But away from here, first of all, we have some sad news to bring you. The former Celtic goalkeeper and Lisbon Lion John Fallon has died at the age of 84. I'll just read you the Celtic statement that they released to announce his sad passing. Everyone at Celtic Football Club is deeply saddened at the news that former Celtic goalkeeper and Lisbon Lion John Fallon has passed away at the age of 84. John joined Celtic in 1958 and went on to make almost 200 appearances for the club over a 14-year period. He was part of the Celtic side that clinched the 1965 Scottish Cup, Jock Stein's first trophy win as manager, and he's well remembered for his acrobatic and joyous celebration that day as Billy McNeil's late winner ended an 8-year trophy drought. Throughout his time with Celtic, John helped the club to 6 league titles, 5 League Cups, 2 Scottish Cups, and of course the European Cup, which was won in the heat of Lisbon in 1967. John was Celtic's only substitute on that famous May evening in Portugal when he and his teammates entered into football folklore by reaching the pinnacle of European football. After leaving Celtic, John went on to play for Motherwell and Morton before retiring from the sport in the mid-1970s. His love for Celtic, however, was a constant throughout the years, and he followed the club at home and away for the rest of his life. His passing comes as a great sadness to us all, and the thoughts and prayers of everyone connected with Celtic Football Club are with his family and friends. So that was the Celtic statement that announced the sad passing of the former goalkeeper and Lisbon Lion John Fallon, who's died at the age of 84. So goalless here at Ibrox. Across the country, the League Cup group stage games have also reached the interval. We'll start by running through the scores. Group A, Brecon City 0, Cove Rangers 3, Falkirk 1, Queen's Park 1. Falkirk have managed to get themselves back level after falling behind to Queen's Park, so that group very much wide open at the moment. Group B, Partick Thistle 2, Queen of the South 0, so Partick Thistle well on course to go 3 from 3. In Group B, Ross County 3-0 up against Edinburgh City in that group. Thistle and County meet in the final match day, so as it stands looks like they're going to go head to head for the top spot in Group B. In Group C, Bonnyrigg Rose have equalised against Dundee. Bonnyrigg Rose of the Lowland League have hit back. Clark Robertson had given Dundee the leads, but Bonnyrigg Rose have levelled. Stephen Presley with 2 defeats so far to Airdrieonians and Alloa Athletic, now being held at half-time by Lowland League Bonnyrigg Rose. Still time to turn that one around, but not a good start to the season for Presley and Dundee so far. Group D, Arbroath 3, Annan Athletic 0 and Ayr United 3. Forfar Athletic 0. Scott Brown's men very much charging through this League Cup group stage so far. In Group E, the only game is Dunfermline against Hamilton-Accies. Dunfermline are 1-0 up in that one. Hearts host Dumbarton in that section tomorrow night. We'll have live commentary of that one on Sports Sound for you tomorrow evening. In Group F, it's East Kilbride 1, Inverness Cally Thistle 2. St Johnstone leads Raith Rovers by a 1-0 thanks to Jamie Gullen's goal against his former club. In Group G, it is Clyde 0, Stenhousemuir 0 and Motherwell 0, Morton 0 at Fir Park. The top 2 sides in that section going head to head but not separated thus far. And finally in Group H, it's East 5-2, Brora Rangers 0, and it's goalless between Kelty Hearts of League One and Kilmarnock of the Premiership. So those are the half-time scores in the League Cup. At half-time here at Ibrox, it is goalless between Rangers and Panathinaikos. Stephen Thompson, it started brightly for Rangers. Raskin had that wee half chance, and then quite quickly things started to get on top of them, and they were fortunate not to concede.
There was a spell when they were rocked, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I think that Rangers did start the game in a composed manner, a lot of touches of the ball, a couple of nice interchanges, and Peter spotted very early how narrow Tavernier was, trying to get that numerical advantage in the middle of the park. Things were going okay. Panathinaikos really hadn't come forward the pitch at all, but that changed very quickly, and there was a spell of about 5 minutes where Panathinaikos really should have taken the lead. I mean, don't get me wrong, Butland makes 2 good saves, but from a striker's point of view, those have got to be goals. There was another couple of moments, cutbacks, couple of penalty claims, and Rangers were looking vulnerable in wide areas when Panathinaikos were on the counter-attack, which happened quite a few times. Palestri and Vaginidis down the right-hand side, Jurisic sometimes on the left. Panathinaikos got their tails up and started to really dominate the game, and Rangers were looking vulnerable. And to their credit, I'd say the last 5 minutes they came back into the match, showed a bit of character, had a couple of efforts in goal. The Diamandi one touched around the post. Then you had the shot that looked as though it was going to go in. That was Maksimovic. It came off his tummy and went wide. But in open play in general, I don't feel Rangers are doing anywhere near enough creatively. I think they're lacking penetration. I think they're very obvious in the way they're playing. There's no variation. There's no runs in behind. To me, it's just very obvious and so easy for Panathinaikos to set up and defend against. And the flip side of that, when they have been defending, Suter on a number of occasions has driven in with the ball, lost it. He's trying to make his way back, and Panathinaikos are trying to pick them off. He's out of position. When Tavernier's been as narrow as he has been, sometimes they've had an overload on the left-hand side. So there's things to look at defensively from Rangers. The one bonus for Rangers at this minute in time is they're in that changing room and it's 0-0. And I don't think the performance in the first half was a good performance, so I'd be surprised if Russell Martin wasn't looking at his bench. And I know he thought that some of his more experienced players weren't fit enough to start the game, but I mean, I think he'd be looking there thinking about making changes for coming out into the second half, if not quickly into the second half, because they've not asked enough questions. This is the home game. You've got to take something over to Greece next week, and they're just not being convincing.
Yeah, Peter, that pass from Rodwell into Raskin in the first couple of minutes, and he gets a driving run and shot and goal, that felt like the template Russell Martin wanted. But what kind of went wrong after that? Because they didn't get those chances again for a long time.
I know Stephen covered a lot of the areas there, but the first 8 minutes, you would look at it going, listen, Rangers looking very comfortable here. They're looking good, they're on the ball, they're in possession. They're not creating much, but they're in possession. Had a wee spell, he goes through, he doesn't get a good connection to the shot, and it goes wide. But then Panathinaikos gets a set plays, and for some reason it just seems like everything falls. They should score, let's be honest about that. They miss a massive chance, a big opportunity, they don't take it. Rangers are lucky to not be 1-0 down. And the next couple of minutes, it seems like Rangers are all over the place. They can't seem to get it work in the build-up. Panathinaikos, I have to say, is suddenly realising if we just sit in a block and let Rangers force something, because Stephen mentioned it earlier in the commentary as well, there's no runners in behind from Rangers. There's nobody taking the run. There's nobody playing the ball. And his players, as wingers they have playing with Curtis and Dowell on the other side, are not kind of wingers in that sense of giving the ball and create something out of nothing. They're not that type of players. So they're kind of stuck if they don't make these runs and force Panathinaikos to run towards their own goal. So they have to play through them. And if they just sit in this block that they've kind of realised if they do so, Rangers makes mistakes, they give the ball away, and they're open and vulnerable on the other end. So game plan-wise, it works much better into the hands of Panathinaikos than it does for Rangers. So Russell Martin has a big task right now at half-time to figure out what are we going to do here when we have in possession of the ball, because that's when it seems to be when Panathinaikos is more dangerous.
Yeah, Stephen, I mean, Russell Martin arrived with a reputation of playing a certain way, and obviously it crystallised at Southampton, where they're going up against teams with far deeper squads, far more money, far more resource, and they're trying to play a certain way and they were getting picked off. Now obviously those are concerns that the Rangers fans would have had when he came here to a point. Now we're 45 minutes into the season, the squad's not really taken shape yet. They've not had a lot of time together on the training pitch, so you have to apply all that context. But I guess there'll be a bit of concern at just how open Rangers were at times.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's probably how you're going to see Rangers play this season, and there will be times when they're caught and they concede from the way that the manager wants to play, but that's what he believes in, that's his philosophy, and I'm sure it will get picked apart by the pundits and supporters when it does happen. But they have looked vulnerable, there's no doubt about it. I think for me, as I said at the very top of the show, this is not the team that you'll see starting Rangers matches in the next month to 2 months time. And not everything's going to click straight away, but you can see the nervousness and the lack of energy from the crowd. I mean, we've been here at games the last 2, 3, 4 seasons in Europe when the atmosphere's been electric and the team have been carried by it, but you've got to give them something to get on the edge of their seats. They're not just going to give you that atmosphere, you've got to earn that atmosphere. And Rangers haven't done enough of that. I mean, in terms of creatively getting the supporters excited, they've not really opened them up. We were 36 minutes in before we had the shot on target. As I said earlier, it's the home game. You've got to take the game to Panathinaikos, and this isn't a brilliant European team we're watching here, Panathinaikos. We've seen better over the last few years come here. Rangers, I feel as though have got a lot of levels to go through, but the team isn't just quite there yet. And it's, as I said again, it's not just going to click. He's had 4 weeks to work with these players. This probably won't be his starting 11 in a few weeks' time. So I think the expectation isn't harsh, because there's always an expectation, but there's not been a lot of time for him to implement what he wants from this team, and there's not been a competitive match for them to do it in. This is their first competitive match, so you don't want to be too harsh, but certainly, it's going to have to improve, because the level that they played at in that first half isn't going to be good enough.
Yeah, Peter, we mentioned the wingers, and you do feel sorry for them a bit, because Dowell and Curtis aren't natural wingers, but they're kind of being asked to sit out on the touchline. It's a position you played a lot through your time here, and I guess, could they do more, or have they just really not been given the chance, and the fact they're not, it doesn't come naturally to them?
But to be fair, sometimes you have to excuse the players, because sometimes it's down to the style of play. If Russell Martin doesn't want them to get on the ball and do these things, then as a player you're not going to do it, because you don't want to upset the manager. You're not going to go and put yourself in the bad books. Do they play with freedom? Do they get to allow to do what they want? That's the question need to be asked, because if you are, then you should be running in behind more. But what I find is difficult for Rangers tonight, especially for Curtis and Dowell on the wings, is Aarons at times runs up and plays in the same line as them inside the pitch, and that means Raskin comes out in a kind of false fullback position on the left-hand side, and he closes up that space for actually Curtis to go and get onto the ball in those kind of areas. But he's probably actually better, in my opinion, with the ball back to goal, and he can play and link up and go through the gears in there. He's not a player that should get it out on the wing and then go and create
and there's not been enough occasions where the movement from other players has created a situation where you're then 1v1 high up the pitch and you can take your fullback on. Most of the time they're receiving the ball, Panathinaikos are set up, they're receiving the ball facing their own goal, they're under pressure, there's no space for them,
and they can double up.
It's difficult. I mean, for me, Dill's never going to be that player that's going to go on the outside and go and tear up a fullback anyway. And it's difficult for Curtis, as we said, maybe not his natural position, but I don't feel the way Rangers are playing, as you said, benefits the wingers, and they aren't really playing out-and-out wingers anyway. They're kind of coming more narrow.
But I think, do you not think they should change it and play, let Aaron stay wide? He is a player who can play that kind of down the wing side, and then let Curtis go inside the pitch instead of being the other way around. I think it would create a better changeover and a better build-up in Rangers play if they kind of swap these positions, and with Tavernier on the other side. We know Tavernier can do that. His crosses get him onto the ball, these things, and he can put dangerous crosses in.
He really doesn't want Tavernier wide at all, does he?
Not at all. He's inside the pitch in the build-up, basically like a back three building up, because Aaron's goes so far high up. So he's playing so far in the pitch, so we don't see Tavernier in that position at all normally. And that's what I feel right now is a wee bit of a problem for Rangers. They don't really know, is that what Russellman wants to do? That's the question. Or are they just kind of lost in those positions, not knowing what to do?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be fascinating to find out and watch this second half unfolds. Players are back out, lining up, ready for kick-off. So let's hand back to Liam McLeod.
These are the 5th and 6th meetings between Rangers and Panathinaikos. Rangers yet to beat the Greek side in the 4 previous games. However, they did progress in the tie on their way to the UEFA Cup final in 2008 thanks to Nacho Novo's late goal in Athens in the second leg after a 0-0 here, as Joe Rothwell gets the second half underway. Low ball all the way back to Butland. No changes for either team at the start of the second half, and a grey evening in Glasgow. The long ball from Butland as Rangers go left to right, sails out for a throw-in to Panathinaikos over on the far side. Rangers with the blue shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops, shooting towards the Copeland Road end. Panathinaikos in the white shirts with the green flashes, green shorts, white socks with the green tops towards the Broom Lawn. So no changes. Butland in goal for Rangers. Tavernier, Suter, Giga, Aarons, Raskin, Rothwell, Diamonde, Dowell, Curtis, Danilo. Dragovski in goal for the visitors. Vagianidis, Palmer Brown, Tuba, Kyriakopoulos at the back, Maksimovic, Chirivea, Bakasetas across the middle with Pelistri and Juricic either side. Ioannidis, the skipper, leading the line. Whole raft of internationalists in that Panathinaikos side. As that's rolled all the way back to the goalkeeper. It's not a great ball, which Dragovski has knocked into touch for a throw into Rangers on this near side. And Panathinaikos, once upon a time European Cup runners-up. 1971 they lost to Ajax at Wembley. And the only time a Greek side's made the final of this tournament. We saw Olympiakos win the Conference League a couple of seasons ago. Here come Rangers. Raskin, he's done brilliantly. He gets into the box, flicks it with the outside of the boots, too close to Dragovski. It's good positive play. They began the first half very well. They've begun well in the second here too. But Raskin, it just seemed to get away from him at the last thing. He had to flick it with the outside of the boot. That wasn't what he wanted to be doing.
No, he was doing well actually, to be fair, to get himself pushed through what he did. He kind of muscles his way through more than anything, and he's tried to play with it outside his right foot, and it has a tough pass. Sometimes you can pull that off, and he couldn't really get a good ball into the box for somebody to go and attack on. But again, Rangers are starting with the same kind of build-up. They're playing with a back three when they build up. Tavernier all the way into the side of the pitch and going down the left-hand side. Aarons actually went into a holding number 6 role there in the build-up. So they're playing with a back three and Aarons in a low block and pushing Raskin and Diamande higher up the pitch with Rothwell as well. So I don't know if you can see it now. Aarons running about tonight now into a low hold midfielder.
Yeah, and Suter's run out of defence and given it away, and here come Panathinaikos driving down the right hand side with Pelistri. He goes down, he's wanting a foul, he's not getting one. It will be a goal kick only to Rangers, which is taken quickly by Butland. It's given away as he looked for Diamonde, pinched back by Maksimovic. Rolls it back up the line. The referee's having to stop play here. It's 2 balls on the pitch. And Panathinaikos were in possession on this near side, and the visiting players are asking why the play was stopped when they were on the attack there. There's going to be confusion amongst the visiting ranks.
I thought he was going to give a foul. Kieran Dowell had a wee pull.
Maybe he has done actually. There were 2 balls on, but yeah, it is a free kick.
What is the ruling if there's 2 balls on? Should you just let it play?
That's to stop, doesn't it? There's more than 1 ball in the pitch, yeah.
But you know what is interesting with the 2 balls? Because Aarons, it seemed to be that Russellman wants Jack Butland to go get a ball quickly to play fast. He done it. Aarons don't go out, gets the ball and throws it into Jack Butland, but he's already played a ball out and started playing. So there's like this mixed signal that they don't know what to do.
It's a high line, this.
Yeah, it's a very high line.
Yeah, I mean, all the outfield players here defending this or attacking it are about 10 yards outside the penalty areas. It's taken short in any case by Kyriakopoulos. Eventually it comes in, there's a player in behind, and Butland is to make a magnificent save again.
What a save.
Outstanding goalkeeping. Here they come again, and a deflection from the shot, this time from Maksimovic. Goes behind for a Panathinaikos corner. Maksimovic has his head in his hands.
Outstanding save from Jack Butland. Really good. That's him at 3 in the match now. But we were just saying there, it's an awfully high line that Rangers were playing for that free kick, only about 45 yards out. Panathinaikos played it short, had a late runner going into the box. He took it really well down on his chest. Got a great shot away, and Rangers have Jack Butland to thank yet again.
It's a brilliant hit as well. Butland's made 2 or 3 excellent saves in the game. Short corners taken. Eventually it's clipped up towards the penalty area from the right angle. Rangers flick it away. It's only half clear though. And collected on this near side by Maksimovic, goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, and Dragowski at the edge of his box, long with the right foot into the Rangers half. Headed away by Suter. Breaks to Raskin, who finds Aarons over on that left. And he's stolen Ridvan Yilmaz's number 3 jersey. As Aarons, Yilmaz not in the squad for this two-legged tie. And perhaps tells you where his future lies. Seems to have been constantly linked with a move back home over the last 12 months. Rangers pick up a free kick inside the centre circle, and it's Tavernier popping up in there along with Aarons, the 2 full-backs.
I think
central position.
Yeah, Peter's right. I mean, I think it's Aaron's turn this half to be the one that drops in. First half it was Tavernier every single time he received the ball, or they were in possession, was dropping narrow. Now basically Aaron's playing pretty much as a CDM.
And he's given it away in the CDM position, and Panathinaikos looking to profit from it. It's been slipped through left-hand side of the box. Chance here. Butland has to make another save. It's more comfortable this time to deny Juricic, who'll probably be annoyed he's not made better of that. Butland saves from the serve, and it stays 0-0. Twice they've had an opportunity. Here come Rangers with Curtis driving forward. He goes for goal! What a finish! Outstanding goal from the 18-year-old to give Rangers season lift off, to give their Champions League hopes lift off. Finlay Curtis, handed the role and responsibility by his new manager tonight, has come up with a massive moment, and it is Rangers 1, Panathinaikos 0. An outstanding finish from outside the box, away from the grasp of Dragowski.
That is a fantastic finish. We sat and talked about it in the build-up to the second half, didn't we? That he's not a player that's going to go outside and do that. He gets the ball, he opens space, and it actually opened up for him to go inside the pit for the first time. And he goes, I think it takes a slight difference.
I thought it took a nick.
I think it took a wee deflection on the way in, but take nothing away from the actual finish.
I don't know.
Fantastic finish on his right foot when he opens up the goal. I love that. He opens up the body and bends the ball around it. And I do think it takes a wee neck on the way in off one of the. Yeah, it does. But take nothing away from the finish. But Panathinaikos was up and were very dangerous in the other end, and Rangers go down and score on the other.
But that's the first time he's driven in the picture, right? Yeah. And you're right again, it did open up for him, and full credit to him for taking the shot on 3 yards out. And you know what? Sometimes you get a wee bit of luck with a deflection. I think it was still going to trouble the goalkeeper, deflection or not. Brilliant moment for a young man.
He's just Phil Vagianidis over on the far side. Just imagine the adrenaline coursing through the 18-year-old's veins right now. It's a great moment for him personally. For Rangers it's huge, because Jack Butland's made a couple of saves just in the minutes before that. And now on 53 it is Rangers who have the lead. The Scottish runners up against the Greek runners up, and that could be just a massive moment, not just in this tie, not just in Rangers' European hopes, but their entire season. Because if they can somehow come through these 3 rounds of Champions League qualifying, what a huge boost it would give them.
Yeah, 100%. But even now, listen to this. Listen to the crowd.
Yeah, but didn't get out of the first half.
You were talking about it when you earlier, that you have to deserve it. You have to do that. Go and score a goal like this, and an 18-year-old going to score a goal like this in a Champions League qualifier, it's definitely going to get the place rocking, and that's what the players need. They need that now, and hopefully now they can go and build on this and start to get more into getting, be more dangerous.
Danilo finds Diamonde, who flashes it out towards Dowell, gets the break of the ball. He's done really well there as he gets away from Kyriakopoulos up to the edge of the box. It's a poor delivery to the left-hand side of the area, the kind of thing that would have been berated in the first half. Rangers supporters, though, appreciative of the effort on this occasion despite the poor execution. It was Rangers 1, Panathinaikos 0. Different game now, all of a sudden, as free kicks given against Tavernier there for a foul, and Juricic looked harsh on the Rangers skipper. And it comes back to Palmer Brown at the edge of his own box, the American centre-back. Once on the books at Manchester City, spent most of the time away on loan. And on the other side's Bakasetas. Back it comes to Palmer Brown. Square ball to Tuba's new central defensive colleague. Out to Kyriakopoulos on this near side. Rangers with a precious advantage. Long ball pinged forward by the Spaniards. Chirivella out to the right flank, driving forwards Pelistri. He loses out and he tries to flash it across. Rangers win it back. There's a misunderstanding between Raskin and Curtis, and it goes out for a throw-in to the visitors on the far side. A big switch from right to left coming for Panathinaikos. Out it comes to Kyriakopoulos on this near side. Level with the penalty spot, drops the shoulder to the byline, chips it across. A good ball. Ioannidis flicks it the wrong way away from goal, but it's fired back across and blocked. Here's Vagianidis on the far side. Right-footed cross comes in, it's decent. It's only half away and skied over the crossbar by Kyriakopoulos. He goes down in a crumpled heap, clutching onto his right ankle as if he's been fouled inside the Rangers penalty area. It stays Rangers 1, Panathinaikos 0, almost on 56.
I think it's just a follow through from his shot. He gets his shot away, and as his momentum's taking him through into Kieran Dill's foot. But I tell you what, a couple of really, really good balls put into the Rangers box there, really testing them. One was just too high for Ioannidis, who's actually looked really busy tonight, aggressive. And the second one that came in there breaks to the back post, and the shot gets away, but he couldn't keep it down from the Panathinaikos left back. But
Kyriakopoulos.
I wasn't wanting to say it. Kyriakopoulos.
I'm glad it was you.
Kyriakopoulos, right. I'll say it now.
That was good, you got that now.
Well, Jack Butland's, I mean, the Curtis goal underlines the importance of the Butland saves.
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's been three big saves.
Remember, it was his save in the shootout against Fenerbahce that took Rangers through to the quarter-finals of the Europa League before he was unceremoniously dumped from the starting 11 in favour of Liam Kelly. He did resurface for the last game of the season against Hibs. Oh, Jager's made an absolute mess of it after Butland gave it to him. He's trying desperately to remedy the situation. It's pulled across towards Ioannidis and blocked by Suter. Well, that's another huge let-off for Rangers, that. As Curtis is brought to the ground. Free kick, Rangers left to the centre circle. And there's a yellow card coming out for the offender as well. In fact, Vagianidis has already been booked. That's going to be a second yellow. Panathinaikos down 2-10. Vagianidis sent off for the clumsy challenge on Curtis. And suddenly the pendulum swings Rangers' way even more now. With a 1-0 lead, they have a man advantage for more than half an hour of this first leg. They have to make hay while the sun shines now.
I have to say, Rangers is a bit lucky right now, isn't they? Like, if you look at it, it's that open goal opportunity.
I don't know what Higgins doing.
He's losing the ball at the edge of the box, and he manages actually close the thing out.
Well to get it back.
Exactly, to close it off and then tackle the ball away. And then they go up, and then he gets a red card.
That could be sliding doors, that.
Sliding doors. This is basically opened the game up for Rangers, this. And you know what? This yellow card for me, it's a wee bit soft if you look at it, you know.
Here come Rangers down the left, looking to take immediate advantage. Curtis rolls it back to Rothwell. This is a massive half an hour now. Rangers have a huge advantage now. As Tavernier, delicate ball, chipped into the box for Dowell, heads it back to Diamonde at the right angle of the area. And now Tavernier. You can bet your life Panathinaikos would sign up for a 1-0 defeat now. Take their chances in Athens next week. But incidentally, they won't be playing in their own stadium. They're tight 18,000-seater stadium. They will be at the Olympic Stadium, which is a big yawning place. They only get average crowds of about 13,000-14,000, so it'll be far from a hostile atmosphere if Rangers can score another goal or two tonight. My goodness, what a chance they'll give themselves. Giga gets it back to Butland this time. That could have gone completely the different way there, Stephen. Giga's mistake, if that's capitalised on, it's 1-1 in the tie, and Rangers are up against it again. Suddenly they're down, Panathinaikos down to 10 men, Rangers have a lead still. That's knocked through towards Diamonde.
What they need to do, Liam, is capitalise on it. I mean, taking a 1-0 over to Greece would still be a decent result, but you've got the opportunity here to go and get a second, maybe a third goal, and go over there with a real cushion, and that's got to be the aim, I think, for Rangers. The numerical advantage, the home tie, 30 minutes to
Stephen,
play.
do you think that though? Do you think you should now go and push for it and go and say, listen, we need a couple more goals here?
I'd go for it, because I think it's going to be tough over there. I mean, let's be honest, Rangers have ridden their luck tonight.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But do you not maybe think, okay, just let us sit in and let's get more momentum going here in the game and try to play, or would you just go after the goals?
I'd be wanting more goals.
I'm the same. I would be going to go for the goals. Yeah, push on it.
Well, they're going to bring on a defender here, Panathinaikos, and Giannis Kotsiras, so it'll be interesting to see who he replaces. He can play defensive midfield as well, 3 times capped by Grace.
It would be interesting to see what Panathinaikos is going to do also. Are they going to go and try and get a goal? Are they happy with 1-0 and just going to sit back and defend it?
They'd be happy with 1-0 now, wouldn't they? They'd sign up for that now.
Away from home, 1-0, but they'll be going home gutted if it stays like this. They'll go home if they've missed opportunities. They could easily have scored 2 or 3 goals here tonight so far, and then now potentially losing 1-0, and they'll have to say, okay, we'll take that.
The problem they've got is there's still a third of this first leg to play, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%. There's still a long time to go, but this bit in the tie is crucial both for Rangers and Panathinaikos.
Well, it's Bakasetas who's coming off. Kotsiras can play in midfield as well, defensive midfield player. More so in defence. Looks like he is going to go into the defensive position. Wait and see once the game settles back down. Anyway, the dust beginning to settle in a frantic 5, 6, 7 minutes here. Finlay Curtis giving Rangers the lead after Butler made a couple of really good saves, then Giga gave it away at the edge of his own box. They couldn't take advantage of it. And moments later, Hadjianidis is sent off for a second yellow. And you'll remember his first yellow was for diving. It's a really cheap night for him.
Yeah, that was a soft one, the second one as well for me. That first one, diving, second one, I think it's harsh. It's on the halfway line. It's not that dangerous, but I don't think the referee knew he had a yellow until he actually gave him it.
There's a chance for Rothwell coming forward, just knocking out to Curtis on the left, then to Rothwell, back to Aarons, now with Tavernier. 62 played, Rangers 1-0 up, looking for a second against the 10 men. Suter with the right foot, rolls it out wide left. Here for the goal scorer, Curtis bends it in, headed away by Palmer Brown. You might remember, of course, Rangers were down to 10 men against Athletic Club here in the first leg of that Europa League quarter-final. Managed to see it through without conceding. So Panathinaikos will be hoping they can do between now and full time. And a night of missed opportunities for them, for sure. Rothwell plays it square to Tavernier, forward to Danilo, midway inside the Panathinaikos half to Diamonde. Now Tavernier, right to left of the centre circle for Suter. Suter's low ball with the right foot. Curtis leaves it out wide left. Raskin gets the cross ball in, it's decent, double centres over! Big chance, he just didn't seem to rise in time there. And it bounces over the crossbar as he tried to nestle it in that top left corner on 63. It stays Rangers 1, Panathinaikos 0.
It's actually a great bit of play from Rangers. That ball up to Curtis, who kind of leaves with a heel, who flicks it outside for Raskin, who comes around the outside on his left. And he cuts back into the pitch and then whips a ball in, and Dowell attacks the back post and just hits it over. It's actually a really good rise from him in the back post. I want you to be a bit probably like Tom, you like one of them, won't you?
I read that.
Back post.
Mine might have ended up in the net later. But no, it was a good chance, and the ball in is excellent. I think Dowell could probably do a wee bit better if I'm being overly critical. It's a decent opportunity. He had the jump on the defender. Should be getting it on target, but again, it's positive from Rangers, creating opportunities. Obviously now they've got a numerical advantage, which helps.
League Cup group matches raging across the country. I'll try and bring an update from those when we get the next stoppage in play here, but you can keep up to date with the scores at any time at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. Ioannidis for Panathinaikos, he's done brilliantly, rolls it low to Kyriakopoulos on this left-hand side, gets the cross in low and put behind for the corner by Suter. Had to deal with it because Juricic is waiting in behind.
He's incredible.
He's some player.
He's playing well. He's a good player.
Seriously
Ioannidis.
Good. Yeah, can't see him being at Panathinaikos for long. He's been outstanding tonight, and that was just, again, strength, close control, and then the pass through. They just lacked numbers at that point in time. They couldn't have enough men up the pitch to capitalise.
He was down in goals last season, scored 11 last campaign, but it was 23 the season before. And Greece international, wears the number 7 and the captain's armband, and he's waiting on the 6-yard line for this Panathinaikos corner. 25 of the 90 to play in the first leg. Rangers 1 up, in it comes, flicked for goal and blocked. Will be collected over there by the substitute Koutsiras, works it out wide, cross comes in, Rangers clear, now they're away in a counter of their own here. Diamonde couldn't make it stick, he had Danilo with him as well, and Panathinaikos are able to get it clear. Just look for a moment if that was in front of Danilo, and you can see by the reaction in his face that we're seeing here, he's annoyed that he's not made better of that. 1-0 Rangers.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity actually. He just couldn't get the ball to drop quick enough. No. It was bouncing along in front of him and hits his knees and his thigh, and it just couldn't get it down, and he ended up getting tackled away. But that was actually a good break. You know, it could have been 2-on-2 at time, maybe 2 against 1 for Rangers. So they're unlucky there.
Double for Rangers, rolls it low back to Tavernier, to the right of the centre circle for Giga, who finds Suter. Short with the right foot to Aarons on the left, down the line it goes to Curtis, back to Aarons, infield to Raskin, back to Suter, square to Giga, who finds Tavernier. Tavernier short ball to Mohamed Diamonde, another who's been linked with a move away this summer. Seems to be important to what Rangers will hope to achieve this season though. It now breaks to Raskin from Suter's ball, which was deflected. Raskin's got a chance, shoots, saved brilliantly by Dragowski. Outstanding save. Diamonde keeps it alive. Raskin shuffles on the right foot, and another brilliant save from Dragowski. He's kept Raskin out, not once but twice there, when it looked like the Belgian was going to make it 2. It stays Rangers 1, Panathinaikos 0.
2 absolutely sensational saves from Dragowski, but he seems to have injured himself making that second save. I'm not sure what's happened to him, but he's in a lot of pain on his goal line here. Raskin does so well, especially with the first one. Absolutely sells the defender. Apai cuts inside, hits a really good shot. Good save from the goalkeeper. I wonder whether he should have gone without so much power and try to just open it up and slide it into the bottom corner. Regardless of that, it's a great effort. He gets a second bite at the cherry again. A wee feint, hits a really good shot. This is the one that goes low that the keeper, I think, has injured himself with. Big chances.
Yeah, Peter, I'll get your thoughts on it in a moment. Let me run through the League Cup scores because there's a stoppage in play here. So Group A is currently Brecon City 0, Cove Rangers 3. It is Falkirk 2, Queen's Park 1. Falkirk turning that one round. Partick Thistle 2, Queen of the South 0. Ross County 5, Edinburgh City 0. In Group C, my goodness, Dundee's problems continue. Being held 1-1 by Lowland League Bonnyrigg. Group D, of course that was the half-time score. Group D, Arbroath 5, Annan 0, and Ayr United 3, Forfar 0. And that's setting things up for a huge game in Paisley on Sunday between St Mirren and Ayr United for a shootout for the group. Group E, Dunfermline 1, Hamilton 0. That's Hearts Group. They host Dumbarton tomorrow, live here on Sports Sound. Group F, it's East Kilbride 1, Inverness Cally Thistle 6. So Kilby being brought back down to earth. St Johnstone 2, Raith Rovers 1. Group G, Clyde 0, Stenhousemuir 1, Motherwell 1, Morton 0. And Group H, East Fife 2, Brora Rangers 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Kilmarnock 0. So Killy unable to make the breakthrough as it stands. And as I said, you can keep up to date with those score lines at any time at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. You are listening to Sports Sound here on BBC Radio Scotland, extra, digital, 810 medium wave, online at that website. And this evening we are joined by listeners on 5 Sports Extra 2 on BBC Sounds. And it is a dramatic evening at Ibrox, where it is Rangers 1, 10-man Panathinaikos 0, almost on 69 minutes. The goalkeeper, Dragowski's back up, but Peter Lovenkrands, 2 chances for Nicholas Raskin to extend the Rangers lead, denied by the big Polish keeper.
Yeah, he does fantastic on the first one, as Stephen said. He cuts him and he sails the defender one way, and he does everything right in the first one and shoots in the far corner, and a good palm out from the goalkeeper. But second one for me, I think Stephen's spot on. Try and take a bit of pace away and get for the corners instead of that. He trying to hit it too hard and kind of gets it right underneath the Dragowski, and it's an easy save in the end, but 2 very good opportunities to go 2-0 up.
Rangers in possession here. Tavernier as the game gets back underway. Rothwell midway inside the Panathinaikos half, finds Suter. Now Aarons. The question is, can Rangers extend their lead ahead of the second leg in Athens next week? Could be crucial that they do. Tavernier to Suter. Out wide left for Aarons. Now for Curtis, level with 18-yard line. Back along the deck to Suter, who finds Rothwell. Rothwell then with a low ball to the left there for Curtis. Now a chance for Raskin, level with the penalty spot, left-hand side of the box. A poor ball in. Allows the visitors to clear. Maybe further activity on the Panathinaikos bench. Get to that shortly. It's Rothwell dinking it back out to Aarons on the far side. Short ball to Suter. Suter gets the cross in, headed away by Palmer Brown. All Rangers right now, you can understand that. They're a man up, they're a goal up as well. Suter for Rothwell. Finds Tavernier. And back to the debutant Rothwell. And there's the 3 debutants involved there. Giga then out to Aarons on the left, level with the penalty spot. Cross cut out at source. Bouncing into the area, Raskin gets onto it. Goes round the houses on the left, pulls it back brilliantly. Curtis goes for goal, blocked. Might be another chance here. Raskin going after it. Palmer Brown gets there first though, and it pops out over on that far side, and it is cleared by the visitors.
They just can't get out. Panathinaikos now. Rangers enjoying a lot of comfortable possession, and when Panathinaikos do win the ball back, they have nothing up front. Just launching it, goes straight back to Rangers. Start another attack.
Well, it's a big 20 minutes or so for both these sides. Rangers knocking on the door again here. Down the left it comes, and the cross is blocked. It goes out for a Rangers throw-in on the far side, which Curtis takes quickly to Suter. Back to Curtis, back to Suter. Wide on that left-hand side as Rangers attack the goal to the right. 71.5 on the clock there, 1-0 up. Curtis rolls it back to Suter. In comes the cross, headed away. Diamonde was waiting 6 yards from goal. And Giga. Short to Aarons. Now Suter to Giga again. Out to this near side it is with Dowell. Back to Tavernier. Infield for Rothwell. Short to Aarons. Now it's Rothwell. Steps in field, central position now to Aarons again. Aarons then turns it out to Dowell on this near side. Short ball for Tavernier. Tavernier, Rangers trying to find a way through. Panathinaikos are just hanging on here. Boxer against the ropes. Trying to hold their respective lines in midfield and in defence. It is John Suter picking up. Rangers probing through towards Raskin, who's on the stretch, couldn't get there. And goes behind for the goal kick, and it will remain Rangers 1, 10-man Panathinaikos 0 on 72.5.
Yeah, it seems to be Panathinaikos are very happy in this situation, just to kind of sit there, defend, because like Stephen said, there's nobody up front for them. When they win the ball, they have absolutely nobody to play it to. They're going to kick it long. Rangers picks the ball up, and then they're going to go back on the attack. So if they're happy to see that going out like that, you know, this is going to be a long 20 minutes or so for Panathinaikos, if they just kind of defend the box and just kick the ball away when they get it, because they've nobody to play it up to.
Well, they're making a couple of changes. Rangers are going to make 3 changes. The Argentine Daniel Mancini and Polish striker Karol Swinderski are coming on for the visitors. Rangers are going to bring on new signing Gassama, brought in from Sheffield Wednesday, the most recent of the new arrivals, and the more familiar figures of Cyril Dessers and Hamza Igaman will come on as well. So that tells you where Russell Martin's head's at right now. He wants at least one more goal to take the Greece next week.
Yeah, I think it's massively important, Liam. You know, a 1-0 lead going over there. We've seen that with 11 men. They were creating a lot of opportunities. Butland to thank on more than one occasion. It will be difficult over there. I think a second goal.
It's a big pitch out there as well, Stephen, the big Olympic Stadium.
Yeah.
Danilo coming off, Curtis coming off, and Rothwell. Looks like he's the... Well, I thought it was he was coming off. In fact, it's Dowell, who's the third of the Rangers players to be withdrawn. But Curtis comes off, Peter. Yes, it took a little deflection. It's his goal, though, and it is a massive goal for Rangers season, not just tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Took a wee deflection, but take none away from the finish. Like I said, he's done unbelievable at the time. The ball, the game opened up for him to come inside the pitch, like he would have wanted. Probably in the first half, he couldn't really do that. It does it once where they don't cover it inside with a double up, and he cuts inside and scores a fantastic goal. It was done so much for him as a young boy. He's only 18 years old, coming onto this stage and scoring a Champions League qualifier. You know that, Stephen, as well, what that does to somebody's confidence, you know what I mean, at this place.
You could see it after that, though. He was more 100%. Comfortable on the ball.
Definitely. He got more into the game afterwards. So it's great for him, and it's great for Rangers now. And Rangers now have an opportunity to put more forward players onto the pitch to actually go and get another goal, because they could see how defensive Panathinaikos was going. It might change now, though, after they've made a couple of changes as well, though.
Yeah, Ioannidis is coming off. The guys were just waxing lyrical about a few minutes ago. Filip Juricic coming off as well. And as I said, they're bringing on Daniel Mancini, who's a right winger, and Karol Swiderski, who's a striker. 42 caps, 13 goals for Poland, which for most other countries you'd think that's a pretty decent international hit rate, but given they've got Robert Lewandowski, it all pales into not quite insignificance, but very difficult to get to those kind of levels.
Yeah.
He's just got he's almost got more goals than caps, Lewandowski. Anyway, Rothwell is still on the pitch, manages to bend it out to that left-hand side. Rangers with Dessers and Egeman on the pitch now. Dessers, 29 goals last season. Scored his first Rangers goal against Servette in the Champions League qualifiers 2 years back. There's Gassama, one of the new boys, out to the left. In comes the cross from Aarons, missed by the first defender, but it bounces off Egeman's head. Right to this near side. Egeman loses out though. There. Two of the man is just on as well, Mancini. And that goes out for a throw into Panathinaikos deep inside their own half. 76.5 on the clock. 1-0 Rangers against the 10 men. And it is the young left back Kyriakopoulos over the throw-in the line and off a Rangers head, and out for a throw-in on this near side. Hamza Egeman down there. I think just about every day he seems to be linked with the French side Lille. There are other names in the offing potentially for the Moroccan, who, if you believe what you read, Rangers want £20 million for. And he's out for a throw-in on this near side. Kyriakopoulos is over it, right in front of his manager. He took over last October after they made an inauspicious start to last season, including in the Conference League, where they eventually reached the last 16. This ball down the left-hand side, and it's brilliantly defended by Max Aarons. He's on the opposite side of the pitch from where he's operating, and he started a potential counter for the home team here. Finds Diamonde in the centre circle, rolls it out to the left for Gassama. Dessers has made his move into the box. Gassama goes for goal! Oh, brilliant finish! Brilliant finish from outside the box! And Jaidi Gassama, just a couple of minutes into his Rangers debut, has given them daylight against the Greeks here. A wonderful finish from outside the area, which Dragowski could not get near. And that goal could be absolutely massive for Rangers' Champions League dreams. It is Rangers 2, 10-man Panathinaikos 0. Massive.
Well, Peter, there's debuts and there's debuts. I mean, oh my word. Outrageous. Virtually the first time he gets the ball, drives with it, cuts inside, much like Finlay Curtis did for his goal. But this one was hit with an extra bit of power. I mean, it was an outrageous finish. Goalkeeper, no chance. What an impact into the game. What a debut.
What a finish. But obviously, he goes opposite corner from Curtis. He goes short corner instead of going far corner. And that makes it all different. The goalkeeper, I think, he's expecting it to go to the far corner, and he gets stranded because he cuts it across and goes short corner. Fantastic finish.
Well, that is how you make a statement. That is how you make an impact. And just a few days after he signed, Russell Martin said he wasn't fit to start. But my goodness me, Stephen Thompson, he has made all kinds of impacts here.
Outrageous, honestly. That's the stuff dreams are made of. When you join a new club, you always want to get your first goal out the way, a good performance out the way, an impact, get the fans on your side. Oh my word, has he ticked every one of those boxes.
To be fair, he could have got injured if you'd seen the knee slide he tried to do. He gets stuck in the grass. He could have took his kneecaps half.
Eagleman surely fouled. No, says the referee. Claims plenty of the ball was taken. It wasn't too far from the Panathinaikos box there. There's still over 10 minutes to play. Rangers 2-0 up. And now they smell blood.
You can actually hear the fans as well now, aren't they? They're fully loaded now. Rangers fans, they're right behind them now.
And they score again. 2-0's a brilliant lead. They would have absolutely taken that. Russell Martin would have absolutely signed up for that before the ball was kicked tonight.
But after the first half,
yeah, no, absolutely.
Like
half time,
incredible. You would never have seen that coming.
But all of a sudden,
100%.
Momentum is all with them. There's Suter. You know, a 2-goal lead's good. Remember, they had a 2-goal lead against Fenerbahce and just about threw away that. Eventually went to the quarter-finals via the shootout as Tavernier comes down the right, smashes it across, no takers. That flashed across Dragovski's goal and out for a Panathinaikos throw-in over on the reverse side. 80.5 on the clock. Rangers 2, Panathinaikos 0.
Superb ball from Tavernier, and one of the first times he's been kind of down in that wide area, and you can see the quality of his crossing. For me, Dessers has got to bust himself to get across that front post. If he does, he's got a tap in. It was hit with a bit of pace right enough, but I'd like to see him still bust himself to get there.
A real glimpse into what Gassama could bring to Rangers this season with that finish. He was playing with a toiling Sheffield Wednesday. He was a youth at Paris Saint-Germain. He played once for the first team in a game against Montpellier a few years ago. And he has scored on his debut as Tavernier crosses in. Too much on it for Dessers. And then we'll go behind the reverse side of the goal frame for a goal kick. But that's just given Rangers just that insurance policy. And as both managers look to their benches again, and Nadim Barami's going to be on for Rangers and Panathinaikos, who are just trying to get out of Glasgow tonight with minimal damage. And right now, well, 2-0 will be bad enough for them. But there's still time for Rangers to score another 1 or 2 here.
By the way, Barami's been told to go back in. The fourth official has told him he's not eligible to get on. I think it's something to do with his socks. He's not happy with him. He shook his hand and went, absolutely not. He can't get on the pitch. So he's now sat back down again. I think he's taking his socks off, changing it to try and get on the pitch.
Good spot, Peter.
That's experience, that is.
Exactly.
There's Gassama, brilliant ball. Raskin left-hand side of the box, pulls it across, and Dragovski holds on. And Diamonde's in a wonderful position if he was able to find him.
What about the pass, though?
Gassama's ball.
Outrageous, outside of the foot, curled perfectly, weighted perfectly into his path. I mean, that was outstanding.
You can hear the Rangers supporters in the background. Suter surely fouled there, indeed he was. And Rangers have a free kick. And well, Svenderski played on there, even though the whistle had gone for the free kick, and he was unable to knock it into the net, and the Rangers fans enjoyed that to the point that it annoyed Svenderski to the point of frustration, and he ended up becoming embroiled with Jack Button, the referees having to speak to him now. 83 played, 2-0 Rangers. Here come the changes for Panathinaikos. They're going to take off Facundo Pelistri, former Manchester United player. Bayrami's okay to come on now as well by the looks of things. And also coming off is Pedro Chirivella. Haven't seen much of in the second half. And on will come Manolis Siopsis, who's a Greece international, formerly of Cardiff City, had a spell there. And the other player coming on is the Brazilian Tete, who was their joint top scorer last season. 3 of them.
He's still not getting
11 goals. Bayrami's been sent back to the dugout again. Russell Martin's looking for answers.
They're going off his head. And
is it shinnies? What is it?
I do not know what it is. He's kicked it. Bayrami just kicked something down there as well in anger. I don't know what's happened and what he's been told what it is.
Well, there'll be something wrong because UEFA are sticklers. As Tavernier picks up on this near side.
He's been told to get back out again. He's coming for the third time. He's trying to get on
third
again.
time lucky for Bayrami. Suter leaving it for Aarons. And then Tavernier. Third Rangers goal. You do feel they might still need that. There's Gassama driving forward, low ball across, behind it goes from Palmer Brown, and Rangers have a corner as we approach the 85-minute mark at Ibrox.
Positive again from Gassama. Every time he's got the ball, you can see the crowd getting up on their feet. And it's going to be Rothwell, is it?
Yeah, Rothwell coming off. The Rangers supporters have obviously enjoyed what they've seen from their new number 6. He receives a huge ovation.
He's a decent match. He keeps it neat and tidy. Composed on the ball, aggressive when he had to be.
I was going to say he's played well from second hand onwards. You know, nobody really played well in the first half, in my opinion. But he's much better second half.
He's got a big hug from his manager as well, Joe Rothwell.
Sorry, Jack Buttle had a good first half.
He did.
Remember that one.
That is fair comment. Tavernier to take the corner. In-swinger with the right boot on the Rangers' left as they attack the goal to the right. And they find a third here. The manager crouching down, Amorim style down below us, and it comes. It's headed away. And away it goes by Svenderski. Pumped back into the Panathinaikos box by Aarons and then flicked clear by Mancini. And here's Tavernier, keeping it alive, out wide left for Raskin. Level with the penalty spot, now goes to the byline, gets the cross in too high for Dessers and wide. Just at the back post there from Igaman. And it will be a goal kick to the visitors and it will stay. Rangers 2, 10-man Panathinaikos 0.
Fantastic play again from Raskin. Raskin's turned into be an absolute winger here. He's going down the
amount of deliveries he's put in this second half, and that one was lovely as well.
To the left foot this time. Before he was cutting in on his right and then hitting an in-swingers. Now he's going on the outside and going with the left foot. Fantastic cross.
Long ball from Dragowski then from the goal kick. He's headed away by Giga. Dessers doesn't really get much on it, but Igaman might here. Palmer Brown comes to meet him and wins it back. The big American striding forward, and this ball towards the striker is cut out by Giga and out for a Panathinaikos throw in on this near side. Just wonder if they try and hunt down a goal that could make all the difference, or if they settle for 2-0, because if they do come forward looking for that one, they could be caught short and be 3-0 down, which not quite insurmountable, but it becomes so challenging. Always got a chance at 2 behind it, 3 not so much. Here's Bayrami, it's a poor ball by the Albanian, but it breaks back to Aarons in any case. It's now Suter. Walking pace up to the halfway line, short there to Raskin. Raskin then low ball with the right foot out to Tavernier on this near side. Infield to Raskin. Touches it back to Suter at the edge of the centre circle. Forward to Diamonde, out wide left for Aarons. Down the line was Gassama, he elects to go back to Suter. Then Suter to Raskin, and then Giga to Suter. Suter clips it out to the left-hand side for Jaida Gassama. Down by the corner flag now. They take on his man. We're going to find the cross against Katsiras. He likes to play it back the way it's Suter. Giga couldn't resist the shot, and it was well wide, low effort. And here some of the Rangers fans encouraging him to shoot, and it was difficult for him to resist it on that occasion. We are 88.5 into this first leg. Rangers 2, 10-man Panathinaikos 0. Do you try and desperately find this third goal, or do you? I think you just play it safe, and when it comes, then great.
When it was at 1, I felt as though another one was really important. I think you can go over to Panathinaikos with a 2-goal lead, and it's a really strong position to be in. The 1-0 would be a wee bit perilous, but 2-0 gives you that wee bit of security, insurance.
They prefer 3 as Dessers wins a throw-in. Now it's level with the Panathinaikos penalty spot on this near side. Taken quickly by Dessers, gets it back immediately from Bayrami. Shifted to Diamonde, snicked away from him by Svinderski. And turned out to Ahrens wide in the left. Good play, gets away from one, finds Bayrami. Touches it back to Suter. Then back to Giga. Switches it out to Raskin on this near side. Looks up at the Panathinaikos box. An option in Tavernier, who rolls it out wide right for Igaman. Now with Bayrami. Bayrami back to Igaman. And Igaman shuffles away from one, finds Bayrami, who finds Tavernier. It's come off the Rangers skipper last and out for a throw-in to Panathinaikos. Deep in the 90th minute here in the first leg of this Champions League second qualifying round tie, with Rangers leading the 10 men by 2-0.
52 for the captains.
That is a scoreline. And it's giving them real hope that they can negotiate this tie. The toughest of ties. 6 minutes have been added on at the end. We're into the first of them.
Fourth official is indicated there will be a minimum of 6 minutes.
As we head towards the closing stages of this first leg. The final whistles will be going in the League Cup matches in the groups across the country. bbc.co.uk/SportsScotland. For those, Dundee incidentally 3-1 up on Bonnyrigg, so
did they need that?
Yeah, even if it is against a side relegated to the Lowland League last season, any win's a good win for Stephen Presley right now. Full round-up to come once we're done with this one, and full coverage of the match tomorrow between Hearts and Dumbarton. That comes through all the way through to Jack Butland, who will hold on no problem. And Tro's Airdrieonians tomorrow night as well in Group C. And remember, Thursday, Mitchell on Hibs, 6:30 kick-off, Dundee United Strassen, 7:45. Once the Hibs game's over with, we'll go straight to Tannadice as they take on the side from Luxembourg, Hibs in Denmark, in the Europa League and Conference League respectively, those two. Also at the second qualifying round stage. Here's Ahrens coming forward for Rangers, out to Gassama on the left. Got away from a couple of chances at the angle of the box by Rami. Back to Gassama, I'm not sure he was expecting it. He's on it now, brilliant play to the byline. Looks to pull it back, it's blocked and cleared. Well, he's certainly positive, isn't he, Gassama?
So positive, Liam. Every time he gets it, he just wants to go and try and beat a player, make something happen.
But that's what Rangers fans want. Wingers, they want wingers to take people on like that. And he comes on, he scores right away in the game, and now he's got confidence. So when he give him the ball, let him go and enjoy himself.
I think every touch he's had has had the Rangers supporters excited.
Agreed. Yeah.
And it goes out for a throw into Panathinaikos on the near side. Kyriakopoulos just beyond the midway point of Panathinaikos territory. Bowls it to Svinderski, shielding it from Raskin, turns, plays it forward, thinks he was fouled. The referee agrees. There'll be a free kick on the touchline on the near side, and Russell Martin isn't happy with the decision. In dialogue, not for the first time tonight, with the fourth official. And it will be a free kick to Panathinaikos, who are in no rush to take it, because even though they're losing the game 2-0, they'll feel they can turn that round in the Greek capital next Wednesday night, which is live here on Sports Sound and live on BBC television as well. And it will be a massive night for Rangers as they try and get through to face either Servette or Victoria Pilsen in the third qualifying round. Servette won the first leg in the Czech Republic, incidentally, by a 0-0. So as it stands, it's Rangers Servette in the next stage. Still lots to do though for both those clubs, but Rangers with a 2-0 lead right now. We've played 3.5 of the 6 minutes that were added. Jega has it for Rangers, to his right, low ball to Tavernier. Back to Jega, to Raskin. Jaga again to Suter. And Rangers ice the cake here. There's Gassama wide on the left-hand touchline. Steps in field again. Now he's in the more central position. It's a delicate chip ball this time. And it sails away from Tavernier, Igaman and Bayrami behind for the goal kick, and it will stay Rangers 2, Panathinaikos 0.
Form in, I thought we should have just unleashed another one there, Peter.
Yeah, I was actually hoping he was going to hit it, but instead he tried to chip it to the back post.
I thought he sized it up. I don't know why Panathinaikos are wasting time. Maybe they're just quite happy with 2. I mean, they've certainly not been up the pitch.
I don't think they can turn that around though, Stephen, even if it's a 2-0 win and take it to extra time.
2 is doable. 2 is doable.
Definitely doable.
Given the way they played and given the way they were on top when it was 11-11, they'll feel they can at the very least take this to extra time next week at 2-0 down. 3-0 down, not so much.
No, they won't feel like they're out of this yet.
Little flick from Dessers. Egaman's onto it, right-hand side of the box. What can he make of this? The answer's not much, as the defender slides and gets it half away. So Diamonde sits the first defender down, shoots for goal, wide to the left-hand post. Right foot was rising as well. And it will stay Rangers 2, Panathinaikos 0.
First wee bit was nice from Diamonde. It looked as though he was going to hit it on his left, chopped in on his right. It was set up for a shot, but as you rightly pointed out, it was always rising as soon as it left his boot.
Closing stages here, in fact, final minute of stoppages. And it is Dragovski with the goal kick, right-footed. Long ball into the Rangers half, is met over on the left by Raskin, who dumps it out for a throw into the visitors over on the far side. And we do think back to big moments in this match. Jack Butland pulling off big saves in both halves, especially early in the second.
Yeah,
Finlay
definitely.
Curtis scores. Then the mistake from Jaga, which wasn't capitalised on. The next phase of play, Vagianidis is sent off. Rangers score a second. I mean, this could be such a different tie and have a totally different complexion on it had it not been for some of the biggest moments on the night. And in the end, the biggest moments went Rangers' way as the Lithuanian referee brings to an end the first leg. It is a 2-0 win for Rangers. And Finlay Curtis with the first of the goals, which came at a good time as well after Rangers had soaked up some pressure in the opening minutes of the second half. The shot from Curtis from the edge of the box on 52 minutes took a slight nick on its way into the far corner, the right corner of the net, to give the hosts the lead. But the defence lived a charmed life at times. Jack Butland made some excellent saves in the first half in particular, and there was a really important one in the opening salvos of the second as well. And then just a couple of minutes after coming on for his debut, Jaidi Gassama, who arrived from Sheffield Wednesday at the tail end of last week, unleashed a wonderful shot. Dragovski's expecting it to go to his left. It went to the near post to the keeper's right and smashed into the net to give Rangers a 2-0 lead. A precious 2-0 lead that they will take to the ancient city next week, the Greek capital Athens. Rangers were in Greece last November and picked up a 1-1 draw against the dominant Greek champions Olympiakos. This is an inferior outfit they are facing, but Panathinaikos showed enough on the night here in Glasgow to suggest that this is far from over as yet. But what it is, and what is undeniable, is that it is advantage Rangers in this Champions League second qualifying round tie, because after the first leg under the lights here in Glasgow, it finished Rangers 2, 10-man Panathinaikos 0.
Rangers in the Champions League qualifier.